If you're serious about your goals, there comes a time where interest is no longer enough. You have to go all in. But before I get into this video, if you're new here, my name is Andrew Pannenberg. I'm a professional goalkeeper. It's my mission to help young goalkeepers like you develop supreme confidence and dominate on game day. If you get any value out of this video, like, subscribe, share with a goalkeeper friend. The bigger we build this community, it'll be a win-win for both of us. So back when I was in college, my freshman and sophomore years, I was definitely not all in. I feel like I had goals and dreams and aspirations of what I wanted to do, but I was doing a lot of things that were holding me back. I wasn't training nearly as hard as I needed to. I was probably eating things I didn't really need to eat. I was drinking things that I didn't need to be drinking. I was filling my mind up with information and just garbage that wasn't serving me. And ultimately, those things affected me on the field. I only played one game my freshman year. I didn't play any my sophomore year. And I got so sick and frustrated at the end of my sophomore year, back when I was home for winter break, that I said, you know what? I'm done playing around. I'm sick of not playing. I'm sick of not feeling like I'm making progress toward my dreams. I'm ready to make some decisions and make some sacrifices and go all the way in. So when I went back for my spring semester of my junior year, this looked like a couple different things. First, I had called a former teammate of mine, Brad Dunwell, who he had played for the Michigan Bucks USL2 team for the past couple years, probably one of the best semi-pro USL2 teams in the country. The summers before going into my freshman and sophomore years, I played for the Charlotte Eagles. While it was an amazing experience playing for that team, I knew I needed something that was a bit of a higher level and something that was going to get me out of my comfort zone. I had been comfortable at home those 2 summers going into those falls, and I know that didn't push me as much as I needed to be ready to play in those falls. So I talked to my buddy Brad. I said, hey, is there any way you could talk to the coaches and see if they're looking for a goalkeeper this summer? I'm interested in playing for them. He talked to them. They reached out to me, and we set it up where I was going up to Michigan that summer to play for the Bucks. When I got back to college that spring, I started doing things a whole lot differently. I was putting in a ton of extra work. I was eating super clean. I wasn't drinking any more bad stuff, if you know what I mean. I was filling my mind with a lot of great stuff, and I feel like I was really operating all in. That summer, when I played for the Bucks now play in Flint, Michigan. That summer was the first season they started playing in Flint, but Flint is not the most glamorous city. There's not a whole lot going on, but me and my roommate at the time, Gustavo Vasconcelos, another goalkeeper, he played for Florida Gulf Coast University. We literally, all summer long, because there really wasn't much else to do, we would train in the morning, we'd stay and do extra, we'd go home and get a bite to eat, we'd go to the gym that they give us memberships to, we'd be there all afternoon till the evening doing strength work, fitness, touches on the ball, agility, sitting in the sauna, all kinds of stuff. And we would literally repeat that day all summer long. And I remember while I had teammates who I would catch up with or hear about, they were on these amazing vacations with their family in Greece and Hawaii and all this stuff. Here I was in Flint, Michigan, putting in all this work. But come that fall, I've talked about this before, I ended up winning the starting job at Wake. And it wasn't like some guy was the starter and he left. It was the same people, the same goalkeepers. I won the starting job over them. I was 2-time ACC Defender of the Week, 3rd team All-Conference. We went to a Final Four, the only Final Four that we made as a team while I was in college. And I had a lot of success that year. But looking back on that year, I truly believe I wouldn't have had the success that I had if I hadn't made that decision to cut the things that I need to cut out of my life and go all in. So before I give you any advice, I want to just remind you of a couple things about this idea of going all in. Number one, I talk about this a lot, but the margins of anything in life, and especially in sports and goalkeeping, the margins are so small. You know it, but it's worth repeating. The difference between making a save and not making a save is so small. The difference between a starter and a backup or a 3rd string, especially at the college level or the pro level, can be so small. There are some amazing goalkeepers who are on the bench or 3rd strings in pro environments. So your margins of winning and losing, starting and not starting are so small. The second thing is your window of opportunity as an athlete is so small. Your body can only physically operate at a high level for so long. You never know when injuries might come up or family circumstances arise. So your window as an athlete, as a college athlete or a professional athlete, is so small, and you need to make the absolute most of it when you have it. And lastly, this idea of going all in is not just something that I've made up. It's actually biblical. I know some of you are Christians out there and like some of these Bible verses, but Jesus talks about in the Bible, if your right hand is causing you to sin, he said, cut it off. He didn't say tie it behind your back or just try not to sin. He said, if your right hand is causing you to sin, cut it off. And that's how I want you to be with some of these things that have been holding you back in your life. So I want to share with you 7 practical tips that you can implement right now to go all in toward your goals and dreams. So number 1, before you get rid of anything, you need to get crystal clear on what your goals are. Your goals for this month, the next couple months, and even this year. I believe that an issue that a lot of young athletes have, and just people in general in life, is they just don't know what they want. They kind of hope and wish for some things to get better, but they don't explicitly say, hey, this is what I want. And I believe that goals are magnetic, and the more specific we can be about what it is that we want, the more likely we are to get it and attract it into our lives. So you need to sit down with a pen and paper and say, write down, these are my goals for this month. These are the goals for the next couple months. This is my goal for the end of this year, and be as specific as possible. If you wanted a car, you wouldn't just say, oh, I want a car. You would say, hey, I want a Ford F-150 that is black, leather interior. It's a 2024. When you go to the store, they're much more likely to help you find that as opposed to just, hey, I want a car. So number 1, be super specific about what your goals are right now. Number 2, start waking up early. That spring, I started getting up at like 5:30 a.m. every day. And I know it might sound crazy, but I had a morning routine that set me up really well for my day. I would take a cold shower, and then I would read a self-development book. And those things set me up super well for my day. We would train at like 7 a.m. So I would just go from my routine straight to training. But A, I felt prepared and locked in for my day and for training. And B, there was also a certain feeling that I got from being up before the sun, being up before my roommates and the other goalkeepers on my team. It gave me this feeling that I was doing more and I was ahead. With that being said, go to bed early. Don't wake up at 5:30 if you go to bed at midnight or 1 a.m. So prioritize your sleep, get to bed early, and wake up early too. Number 3, find some accountability in your life. When I was playing for the Bucks, I had Gustavo as almost like a training partner, an accountability partner. And I feel like we leaned on each other a whole bunch, which made us grow so much that summer. We did so much extra work, and having a training partner is a great thing because you guys can do more than you could just on your own. And also you have that motivation of knowing, hey, this guy's counting on me. And we said, hey, we're going to the gym at 3 o'clock, so we're going. If you're on your own, it's easier to cut corners. Again, also talking about biblical principles, I believe that iron sharpens iron, and having other people push us in our life is a beautiful thing. So find an accountability partner, a training partner. Number 4, you got to be putting in extra work. I've talked about this in a recent video, but you need to be putting in the extra work to show yourself that you deserve the goals that you want, but you also just need to practically get better and practically get stronger. So what does this look like? Be the first one to training, last one to leave, get in the gym, get really close with your strength coach. Find all the ways that you can do more to improve your game and be ready for the big moments. And again, show yourself that you deserve what you're going after. Number 5, get rid of negative things in your life. Get rid of negative vices. What is a vice? A vice is pretty much just a bad habit or something that holds you back and doesn't make you the best version of yourself. So what are some of these things? Junk food. If you're eating things that are holding you back, holding your fitness levels back, cut it out, man. That spring, I was eating super well, and that helped me just to be so ready on the field. Second thing, cut out alcohol. Like I kind of alluded to before, my freshman and sophomore years, I've never been a big party guy or anything, but I did drink some alcohol at that time, and that definitely messed up my sleep, my recovery, my ability to train well on a daily basis. And that spring, I cut it completely out, and I felt amazing, trained amazing, played really well in the spring games. If you're under 21, there's no reason you should be drinking alcohol anyway. But if you're real about your goals, you can't touch that stuff right now. And lastly, social media. It's ironic because I know you're watching a video on YouTube right now, but social media is designed in a way that makes you addicted to it, impulsive, it messes up your good decision making, and it also makes you compare your life and where you're at with other people, which can be really negative, really toxic. So delete those apps off your phone. If you're going to watch YouTube videos, educational YouTube videos, that's great, like this one. but cut out the social media, man. Delete the apps. Get it off your phone. Number 6, get rid of negative people in your life. Like I've talked about, it's hard enough to reach your goals, the work that you have to put in. But if you have people, old friends, family members who, when you talk about your goals, they're like, oh, you think you can do that? No, come on, man. And they see some of the things that you're doing, you're eating healthy, and hey, man, come on, what are you doing? That's too much. You can't have that kind of negativity in your life, man. You need people who are going to lift you up, that can tell you that you can do it, that believe in you. Those are the people that you need in your life. So get rid of the negativity. And this doesn't mean that you tell someone, hey, I'm not talking to you anymore. You just kind of put them to the side. You talk to them a little less. You respond to their texts a little less. Get rid of the negative people and have good people in your life. And lastly, start spending more time alone. I believe that when we are alone, we can get more clear on what it is that we actually want and who we are. I don't want to get into too much detail, but when I was in middle school, my parents got divorced and my sister went to college. So I ended up kind of being with my family a lot to spending a lot of time alone, which is not a sob story or anything at all. Don't take it like that. But the thing I'm trying to say is that in that time, I started to spend a good bit of time at home, some nights by myself. And I feel like it was a time that really forced me to kind of come up with who am I as a person? What are my goals? What am I going after? And I actually believe that that time in my life, late middle school, early high school, was when I made some of the biggest steps in my academy career, because I just got really crystal clear on like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I want. This is what I'm going after. And I truly believe in some of these moments of solitude, of time alone, we can get really clear again, like I said, on who we are, and even just get close to God and hear his voice and hear who he wants us to be and the path that he wants us to be on. So before we finish this video, I just want to share with you 2 things going off this idea of going all in. I read a book and it basically talked about how it had this quote that stuck with me, and it said, going 100% is easier than going 98%. And you might say, well, no, 98% is actually easier because you give 2% less effort. But the thing that he's trying to say is that when you go 98%, there's still a part of you that says, oh, should I really be doing this? And there's almost this like mental negotiation, this back and forth, and that can just be so mentally exhausting. But when you go all the way in, the negotiation is gone and you are free, you are liberated to go after your goals with all your effort and all your focus, and you get rid of that negotiation. That back and forth, that teeter-tottering, that seesawing is so toxic of, should I do this? Or maybe I should do this? Or, oh, this is too much. No, man. When you go all the way in, it's freeing. It's liberating. So remember that quote, 100% is easier than 98%. And lastly, I want to leave you with a poem, a short poem by Charles Bukowski, I think written in like the 1900s. But basically, this will just wrap up everything we've been talking about. Beautiful poem. I would look it up, put it on your wall, find a motivational video that has some music with it in the background, but unbelievable poem. So here we go. This is what he says. If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. If you're going to try, go all the way. This could mean losing girlfriends, wives, relatives, jobs, and maybe even your mind. It could mean not eating for 3 or 4 days. It could mean freezing on a park bench. It could mean jail. It could mean derision, mockery, isolation. Isolation is the gift. All the others are a test of your endurance, of how much you really want to do it. And you'll do it, despite rejection and the worst odds. And it will be better than anything else you can imagine. If you're going to try, go all the way. There's no other feeling like that. You will be alone with the gods, and the nights will flame with fire. Do it, do it, do it. All the way. You will ride life straight to perfect laughter. It's the only good fight there is. So just in closing, I want you to know that when you decide to hang up the boots, hang up the gloves for the last time, which is going to happen at some point at the end of your college career or your end of your pro career, the biggest regret that you're going to have is that you didn't work harder. You're not going to regret the parties that you missed or the food you didn't eat or the drinks you didn't drink. You're going to ask yourself and look in the mirror, man, could I have done more? Could I have put in more effort? Could I have cultivated more of myself? And one of the hardest things in life is to have regrets. But the beautiful thing about life is that we have this moment right now where you can make a decision. You can say, hey, I'm done playing around. I'm done not giving all the effort that I know I can. And I'm ready to cut out all the things in my life right now that are holding me back and go all out for my goals and my dreams. And like I talked about and like the author talked about in the poem, going all in on your dreams is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful, liberating feeling knowing that you're giving everything. You're not holding anything back. You're sacrificing all that you can. And when you finally do reach that goal, which when you go all in, you will reach your goal. It is the most beautiful, amazing feeling you can ever imagine. So go after your goals, go after your dreams, get rid of all the things that are holding you back, go all in, and know that once you make that decision, there are some amazing moments ahead of you in your life and in your career. So if you got any value out of this video, like, subscribe, share with a friend, and we'll talk soon.